Hello everyone, welcome to Bench Seat Racing. I know a lot of you guys have always been curious if you can put a big block in the 62 to 67 Novas. Well, it can be done. You gotta know where to cut, know where to weld, know where to beat, bang, trim, that kind of fun stuff. So I'll start off by showing you the 66 Nova I have. It has a 454 in it. Of course, big block as you can see. Hooker headers makes the fenderwell headers for these cars. Milodon and Moroso make a deep oil pan for them. It's got a little notch in it for the steering, just like the small block cars do. I don't know if you'll be able to see the notch in the pan, but not a very good video of it without crawling under the car. I'm not planning on doing all that just yet. So I'll start with the shock towers. Shock towers have to be notched. I usually cut them down to pretty low where the upper control arms bolt in. I leave about a 1/4 inch above the bolts where I cut it. That way you can get the headers in and out easy. The headers have slip tubes. Excuse me. Makes it easier to do the plugs and everything. You do the spark plugs from underneath on these cars. Like the small block cars, you got to cut this panel out back here. And one strip of metal, you still leave it up and down like where your brake line originally attached. Along here, there's a place where it's spot welded together from the factory. I usually weld that in pretty solid and grind it down. Sometimes they'll separate here. Doesn't happen all the time. Had it happen one time. I've done about, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 of these cars. Some for friends, some for myself. Use the solid motor mounts like you would use on a small block, and the V8 stands like you would use on a small block. If you want to run your wipers still, it can create a problem. On the firewall, there's a nub that sticks out back here. It usually either gets dented in with a hammer, or you can cut it off and make this area flatter so the point isn't so big. Even the bottom of the wiper motor, you may want to grind a little bit of it off. This valve cover has a mild dent in the back of it. This thing has a stud girdle and roller rockers, and putting big valve covers on these things can create a problem. If you got like a motor that's just got a hydraulic cam where you don't pull the valve covers, some of these issues you can get away. You won't run into trouble. If you want to run a heater in them, well, you can see I've got everything blocked off. The top hole's where the heater motor went. These 2 holes is where the heater hoses went. If you want to leave the heater motor in it and the fan, you pretty much got to have a hydraulic cam motor with small valve covers, so it'll clear the motor. As you can see, this is taller than where the motor sticks through. I'll try to explain better as I go. What I'm going to do is, this is the talking part. What I will do later is add pictures that shows where these cars have been cut. Makes it a little simpler to explain. I'll try to even, point out places in the video where you need to do this, you need to do that. I'm not saying I'm the guru, I'm just saying this is how I did it. This radiator, if you want to make it set lower in the core support like I did, I notched the frame rails down there. Kind of hard to tell in the video, but I notched the frame rails, and the radiator sets down in the frame a little bit. A couple of the other cars I've done, it just sets right on top of the frame rails. I've never added rubber to them or anything like that for a cushion. That's up to you. I've never had trouble. I've been doing these things since the late 80s. So some are still on the road, some aren't. I own 3 of them with big blocks in them. One of them's a wagon, one of them's a 4-door. So there's the wagon right there. Sorry if this is getting a little blurry looking. I don't know what happened, but. So that's the 3 that I have at the moment with a big block in them. So what I'm going to do now is start adding pictures and a little bit of explanation with some of the pictures.